Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and hanging out with me as always is
Uncle Rob.
Uncle Rob, thank you so much. And
Chris.
boys, good to be back here in the studio. A little bit of a muggy night here for episode 350.
Yeah.
350.
Weird, right?
I mean, that is
A lot.
a significant episode.
It is 350, dude.
What is it like? Is it like the wood anniversary? What is it? Do podcast
Oh, yeah, I don't know
anniversaries
what-
have
I
names
don't know
like
what three-
marriage anniversaries?
Oh, yeah.
Like
They
the
can.
balsa, the third elbow down.
I mean,
I
if
don't know.
you're-
I'm just saying weird
Right?
shit.
So you talking like married for 350 years or 35 years?
I think this would be more the
for 350.
equivalent.
Go for 350.
350
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, man.
I can't count every episode as a year.
No, I know that's the
Acknowledgement.
problem.
Yeah,
It's
that
just
would
like,
be-
yeah.
It's
that
a
would
lot.
Kind of hard to do, but we're here. We're doing it, making it happen. Cryptonaut podcast. A couple of quick announcements coming up. Here we have something very special. Actually, Christopher has something very special coming out in August.
Something.
His movie is going to be making its debut
Yeah.
on the World
Debut.
Wide Web. On the debut on the World Wide Web. And keep your eye on our socials because just today, but this is obviously coming out earlier, or I'm sorry, later. We put up the poster. The poster's out.
You did.
It's out. It's there. It's happening. It's
It's
super
dope.
cool.
It's super dope. I'm
It
a
is-
big fan.
It is super cool. I like how it came out. And yeah, Chris's movie Squirrels is going to be making its appearance on the YouTubes in the world to check out. So just keep your eye on the socials. We're going to be posting the date when that's going to happen. And we got some fun Discord stuff happening there too with all
True.
that. And yeah, that was my only opening announcement is Chris's movie. I'm so excited to see this thing finally come out.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's so fun.
And there'll be some merch drops with it, too.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be 2 merch drops with it. I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another merch drop. Ooh, August is the month of merch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
the other
We
one?
have another T-shirt that we're putting out.
Okay. Oh,
Don't,
yeah.
Don't tell the listeners.
No, I'm not going to. I just forgot about it, and then I got excited about it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited again.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have 3 new merch drops. Probably another group in September as well.
Mhm.
So we'll see
And-
what's happening.
For the, I should never predict anything because it's notoriously fucking fucked when I do.
Oh no.
But for the back to school times, which is a little bit in the future,
Okay.
we have another merch drop.
Okay.
Probably won't be with this 3. It'll probably be a little bit later. It'll be the back to school shopping
Okay. Because
version.
that's like in September, buddy.
It'll be late August, September. I'm talking
Okay.
about.
All right.
Okay.
Something I'm working on. Something
Okay.
cooking up.
All right. Let's just. You know what? Let's just leave it magnanimous.
Nope, that's not the one. But yeah.
It's not
Let
magnanimous.
him have it.
What?
All right. Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're right. It's magnanimous. My
Yeah.
bad.
Isn't that what that means?
No,
Ah, damn it. Is it a verb?
you could have just said mysterious.
Am I being magnanimous? Can I?
We literally have a shirt that says enigmatic entities.
But
But could have said enigmatic.
But it's not magnanimous.
It's not.
Ah, damn it.
It's okay.
We're talking about the Night of the Living Hands, Robert.
Yes.
All right,
Oh,
episode
man.
350. Get your head in the game.
Oh my
Okay?
God. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, even though you wrote this,
Lashing out at me. It's all
You
right. That
wrote
doesn't
this.
mean I remember anything I wrote.
Night of magnanimous hands.
And I want to say,
that's great.
magnanimity aside, like all sorts of things, like Hands Across America,
Yeah, my favorite.
yeah.
Hearts and Hands and Hearts, like all
Yep.
sorts of like variation, I just went with Night of the Living Hands because I said, fuck it. Eventually it was fine.
Oh no, dude, I love that title. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
dude.
Because it's just a play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we'll never do another hand one because we have a whole world of hand issues.
Well,
to deal
yeah,
with.
dare I say it's going to be called Return of the Living Hands?
It could very well be.
Yes,
So once you
dude.
establish the zombie naming convention,
yes.
you have the world is your oyster.
Oh, dude,
Right.
I love
within
it.
reason.
I love it. We had a little pre-pod call today, and we were kind of going over what it was going to be. And as soon as you were like, "Yeah, we're doing the hands pod," I was like, "Yes, fuck yeah, dude, hands,
Oh yeah,
hands across America,
all of it.
hold hands, hearts and voices, voices, hearts
I'm
and
telling
hands."
you,
Yeah.
I did the
Yeah.
whole thing just as I said. And
Yeah.
you know what the thing is? It's not even about that. It's about this. This subject is near, and I won't say dear to me, but I'll let you continue, and then we'll get to it as time arises.
Let's get started with the paranormal realm is full of inexplicable incidents and entities, but few can be more baffling than the alarming array of reports hailing from folks around the globe, particularly young people who claim to have had, at times disturbing, occasionally terrifying, and always bizarre run-ins with crawling, seemingly self-motivated, disembodied human hands.
Just the worst.
Hands.
That's that paragraph reading that, though I did screw it up, but you won't hear it because it's going to be edited. That made my week. I'm never going to read anything during the week that's going to match that.
That I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we got a couple new pumps at work. I got to do some I got to read the manuals. but it's never going to be as cool as
I mean, you don't know.
No.
The intro to a pump manual can sometimes really
In the realm of pumps.
I can't even say the name. It's like Vogel saying. It sounds like a dragon from House of Dragons.
It does.
Yeah, it really does.
We already went there. I don't
Me
want
and Chris had a whole thing about the House of Dragons, not knowing who's what. Vogel saying Amar, Iman, whatever, dude.
There's two names and just slight variants
Amen and
of those names.
Yeah.
Seriously, in that show.
It's fucking terrible, dude.
Oh, I'm done with caves and castles and
Like,
dragons
it's
and
not
insects.
bad. I'm just like, but this one is like, man, if you're not paying attention,
Yeah.
you don't know who the fuck is who,
No,
how they're related, the
Nicole,
genealogy.
as we're
the
watching it,
fucking-
Nicole keeps the wiki going for me, so her and I can kind of catch up and make sure that we're, on top of it. So regardless, Robert, let's do this, buddy. Disembodied hands.
So first, I guess, a little confession. Not really, but, I'll be reminiscing.
Oh, okay.
When I was a kid, for reasons that even to me are still unclear, I had an overarching fear of sinister, sentient, self-ambulatory human hands. There was just something about the concept of a severed hand scuttling spider-like on its bony digits that hit a raw nerve in my developing psyche. Yes, the worst. I remember being young, lying in bed, and about to drift off to sleep when suddenly I'd hear a slight scratching sound or a faint creak or some other eldritch echo in the sinistral symphony of sounds that all century-old houses make in the dead of night. It was all, I'm sure, completely explicable, but in my mind's eye, I could almost see the offending extremity, jagged bones sticking out of its hacked wrist as it slipped in and out of the shadows of my darkened room with uncanny alacrity. Inexplicably aware of its surroundings, despite an apparent lack of sensory organs, save skin, not to mention the absence of a brain and nervous system with which to process the information. In the light of day, even as a child, I scoffed at the mere notion of a scurrying, self-aware, amputated appendage. But in the eerily ominous silence of the wee hours, what seemed so absurd in daylight has a way of creeping up on you and becoming not only plausible, but absolutely terrifying. This shit fucking really bothered me as a kid.
No,
we talked about
I understand. The funny thing, quick sidebar, like I didn't like Adam's Family, like doesn't bother me.
No.
But like the movie The Hand bothered the shit out of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm about to mention that.
Okay.
Even evil.
But I agree 100%.
For some reason, I'm just like,
yeah, like even like the Evil Dead hand skeeves me out.
Absolutely.
And then of course House, the hand in House.
Right.
Yeah, that
it
was
still wasn't as bad. The movie was like
much worse. 100%.
Totally.
Ruined everything.
As to my own deep-rooted childhood fear of crawling, clinging, clawing hands, the kind that grab your ankles from under the bed or lunge through the open risers of cellar stairs, sinking their long, filthy fingernails through the thin layer of flesh surrounding your Achilles tendon, the origins are a bit hazy. And yeah, we had one of those big open basement fucking stair things with the open risers and horror. Every moment of descent, every moment of ascent, every moment I was down there, it was just a shit show with a big old fucking, Friday the 13th Freddy Krueger, broiler.
Yeah.
Broiler. Gee, like I'm cooking steaks down there.
Dude, if Burger King was in your basement, I'd be like, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Like, bro, the smoke.
I don't even think it's a boiler. I think, is it called a furnace or is it I don't know.
It's a furnace, but
anyway,
it's
and it was like shitty wet, caved in, like I barely a stone fucking wall.
Yeah,
like dirt everywhere.
All the houses on that side of town had that type of basement.
Shitty.
I had the same one when I lived on Wheeler Street, and I had the same type of furnace. That like I would always lose like my action figure toys down it, and then make my dad go down there and tear the whole side off and dig all the swords and guns out.
Oh,
yeah.
Good dad.
Yep, for sure.
A lot of silly putty went down the fucking.
Oh yeah,
a lot of change.
And into the fucking
tons of change. Too.
Always the jing. Yeah.
Have to.
Mm-hmm. I may have stumbled across a late-night airing of Amicus Studios' Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, an eerie anthology from 1965 containing a segment called The Disembodied Hand, wherein the late, great Michael Gough, best known to those of us of a certain age as Alfred from the Tim Burton/Joel Schumacher Batman movies, and for an even more seasoned generation, an icon of British cinema, plays a painter who takes his own life after losing his hand in a prank gone horribly awry. leaving the vengeful appendage to seek revenge. It's a creepy little movie. It might also have been any number of scenes from Oliver Stone's 81 flick The Hand that Chris just cited,
That's the one.
which featured yet another severed Mick going on a murder spree. There are scads of other examples from 1946's The Beast with Five Fingers to 1963's The Crawling Hand to quirky 80s opuses like Demonoid Messenger of Death that almost should be a Discord movie night. It's so bad.
That's awesome.
And the Stone classic, as Mark brought up, Evil Dead 2.
Hell yeah.
The list goes on, with the most ubiquitous example being the Addams family's literal hand servant, Thing T Thing, which, like Count Von Count, is his actual name, whose family-friendly antics were not scary in and of themselves, but whose very existence imprinted the idea of a self-aware, disembodied hand on at least 4 generations of children via the 1960s television program and decades of subsequent live action and animated motion pictures. So I dare say for most of us, that first idea, at least in Western culture, maybe exclusive to the United States, it's Addams Family.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
no, for sure.
yeah.
That's. I mean, as a kid, I would watch those black and white reruns constantly.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
loved them. Them and the Munsters
And then
back to back
finally,
all the
like-
time.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
finally, like Evil Dead 2 came around, and then
Changed the game.
100%.
Chris and I, just being slightly older, there was those other icky additions, particularly Oliver Stone's The Hand,
Yeah.
I
starring
watched
Michael
that-
Caine.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
ruined
watched
everything.
it like a later date, and it was fucking creepy.
Yeah,
Super
most
creepy.
definitely. But, but for us, it did start out family friendly, and it didn't go back to, not that it matters, but I'm a big fan of like Charles Addams, the cartoonist, who the Addams Family was based on, just named after him because he created a creepy family.
Mhm.
But that was not a disembodied hand in the cartoons. It was just this hideous figure that was so repugnant. It was a hand reaching out of shadows or from under tables and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was not intended to be disembodied. But
Right.
the TV show is where most of the tropes from, the movies in the 90s to the series Wednesday
Yeah.
get their
totally.
information from.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
Strangely, it is disembodied hands and heads, but we'll save that shit for another pod, that are specifically scary. I mean, seriously think about it. Could you honestly imagine dreading the appearance of the stalking foot of Wet Wang, East Yorkshire, or bumping into the malevolent elbow of Dildo, Newfoundland? Both, for the record, fake cryptids, but 100% real cities.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that disembodied body parts are now cryptids.
I was actually thinking about what the fuck are they? And I'm like, you know
No,
what? Cryptids.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some notes on this. I
I
can
mean,
already see
There's
it.
very few things. I mean,
I'm thinking, like, if the elbow's really there, it's a cryptid.
well, yeah.
I just being a
If it's a
Just an
ghost elbow,
elbow.
it's
being a weird
different.
elbow like this, just hanging out.
I mean, they could do
weird.
some damage being an elbow.
Sure.
I mean, there's no arms.
Depending
to it.
on how
It's
much
just an
leverage.
elbow. Yeah, it's just like it's
Yeah.
a weird elbow. There's like no arms attached to it. I'm assuming, or
My
it'd be a
point-
separate arm.
My point is, it's silly.
It is.
That's the goddamn
is.
point.
It-
We don't want to beat it. The grave is shallow enough. Just let it rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
the cryptid of the hand.
And I just wanted to say Dildo, Newfoundland.
Yeah, because why not, man? It's a great spot to go fucking vacation.
Sure. Probably good fishing.
Yeah.
It's just silly, right? But despite the intrinsic absurdity of the whole premise, there's something about crawling hands that are genuinely unnerving. And clearly being afraid of malicious, often murderously determined mobile menace is neither a new phenomenon nor is it unique to me. All of this established, I must admit that it came as a bit of a shock when I stumbled across accounts of individuals who share my childhood fear. But their personal terror stems not from any of the films or TV shows mentioned, but from what they claim are horrifying real-life experiences with living hands. So I was genuinely blown away when I came across this doing research for another story altogether. Like, I didn't think that, like how I talked about how heartsick I was that there's not like a real tradition of gargoyles until fairly recently.
Well, yeah.
That they're just like, architectural motifs, designed to like send out water and send away evil spirits. So I just assumed, the disembodied hand was an Addams Family trope, a bunch of shit that was just made up for, popular fiction. I was astounded, literally, and it wasn't even that long ago. It was this year when I was like, the fuck there are.
Stories ahoy.
Yeah.
And so I read one, and then I dug deeper and delved into the mystery, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So this is apparently real.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if either of you guys ever heard about this before today.
No.
Not really. No,
The
just
severed
in movies.
head. We've covered severed head. A severed head one at one point a
Well,
while ago.
There are so
but-
many, especially Southeast Asian traditions
Yes,
involving flying heads,
Yeah,
especially with guts
spines
attached and whatnot. Yeah.
The Aswan.
Yeah, among others.
The Menanangal.
Oh my God, look at you.
Yeah.
Pronounce
The
master.
magnanimous.
The magnanimous Menanangal.
There-
I mean, they could be magnanimous.
I mean, you never know.
I have to look that word up. I don't want to hear any comments about me not knowing what magnanimous means or not. Okay.
You don't want us to tell you. You're just going to
No,
find
you guys can tell me. The listeners can't.
Fair enough.
You guys can tell me.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna
right.
get so many DMs about this. I can already fucking tell.
So here we're going to deal with just a few of these incredible encounters.
All right, cool.
Our first account comes to us from the Real Ghost Stories archives of yourghoststory.com, which we've used many times. It's a great site, where on September 20th, 2020, a Nepalese, just added extra N's.
Nepalese. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Nepalese.
do what you got to do.
I apologize to Nepal. A Nepalese user named Sagun B wrote about an unnerving event that took place sometime in 2006. The incident, this is a quote, took place when I was around 6 years old. I was at my mama's, that's maternal uncle in Nepali. So mama is your maternal uncle.
Okay.
Okay.
My mama's home. It was a place I loved being at during the holidays. I had two brothers there of my age, and we really got along well. This time when I got there, my mama had bought a new bike that is a motorcycle, as we'll come to find out, but I'm
Sweet.
specifying
Mama's
here.
got a new ride.
Mm-hmm. Seeing a shiny new bike as a kid wanted me to get older then and there and drive it myself.
Nice.
Fair. My brothers and I requested Mama to take us on a ride. Mama had to agree eventually. So at around 5 p.m., we went out for a ride. We were very excited. One of my brothers went to sit on the fuel tank. Mama was driving. I was behind Mama, and behind me was the other brother.
This is not safe.
No.
This is not safe.
In no world is that safe.
No, this is terrible. This is an insurance nightmare.
Maybe not in Nepal.
I'm just saying this is dangerous.
Yes. 4 people on a single bike sounds too much. So maybe you were wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean,
I couldn't even go there.
Really, dude?
I mean, I really don't feel you're wrong. But
yeah.
we were just 6 back then.
Even more dangerous. They're
Oh my God, that
children.
doesn't make it better. That just
Children.
means
Yeah.
you didn't know better.
Just their poor little heads are going to hit the concrete like melons.
Oh my God.
Oh, God.
We didn't take much space. So they're little. They're 6. They don't take up much space. Ergo, it's safe.
Okay, fine.
Then after each one of us was sat properly, no pun intended,
Yeah.
not even a pun, no irony intended, and had promised to hold on with a tight grip, the bike started and we waved everyone by with happiness. Simpler times, happiness in simpler things. Fair enough.
Well, that's deep.
So finally, our wish was fulfilled. We were enjoying the ride very much. The roads weren't particularly good at those times. Neither are they now. But Mama was a good driver. We were laughing at occasional bumps that we got from the road. It was a fun experience. We were sometimes looking right, sometimes left. We didn't want to miss anything. That's when I saw what I saw. We had come quite a distance now. The houses were getting less dense. Now there were no houses at all, just tall trees on both sides and a small river passing between the house and the dense forest on the left. It wasn't dark yet, so what I saw wasn't something imagination could do. I saw it. I'm getting goosebumps now as I remember it. A pale, nearly white hand cut just below the wrist with really long nails and blood-red nail polish lay on the bank of the river. It was so pale I could see it from afar, and I kept my eyes focused on it so that I won't miss it when we drive past it. End quote. It would be then that the 6-year-old Sajan's unabashed joy would suddenly transform into a bitter concoction of fear, disbelief, and dread. Quote, when we were right parallel to the cut hand, it started to move. And this was the first one I read, which is why this is the first one I'm writing about.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, I mean, I expected a dead hand and maybe it'd be a ghost or something. I wasn't literally expecting the fucking hand to move. And I got so giddy. I was like, the hand moves. So I just wanted to share that little behind the scenes. It started to move. This is the best ever here. First slowly. And then it started to run.
Oh, no, dude. It was a...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I had my eyes on it all the time. After a small distance was covered, the hand stopped and disappeared. I know it's funny to imagine a hand running on its own, but the hand really did run. I'm sure what I saw that day, but I still cannot figure something out. If anyone saw something as creepy as what I saw, wouldn't they tell other people around them to look at it, just to make sure? But I was completely silent throughout. This thing really bothers me on why I was silent, or maybe I just couldn't speak after what I saw. It's been 15 years since that incident. I clearly remember everything, but still cannot answer why I didn't show my mama and brothers that thing then and there. Why couldn't I speak a word? It would have been easier to answer if I was so scared that no words came out of my mouth, but I was incredibly calm now that I think of it. It was only the times that I rethink of what I saw that creep me out. I've asked them many times if they somehow saw what I saw, but no one except me saw it. I know people will have a hard time believing such an incident from a 6-year-old kid, but friends, only if I could replay what I saw that day, I'm sure you'd believe it too. I don't think I'll forget this in my lifetime. End quote.
Oh, man. I mean, then again, like, I get what he's saying, like, why am I not telling people? But maybe if you see something that just, bonkers, maybe it, being a 6-year-old kid, your first, instinct is just kind of like lock onto it and not bring it up,
right?
Like, kind of like,
or maybe even though you're 6, you have enough like inherent self-preservation instinct to know that by showing everyone this alarming thing when you're all hanging on for dear life in precarious positions all over a motorcycle, that maybe mama suddenly focusing on scuttle fist is going to be like a tragic accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, or you got to tell mom to go back there and run it over.
Oh, well, yeah, but then if you fuck it up and it crawls up on there, come on.
You got 6 kids and a motorbike, you can easily you can take care of that.
So they just went by it, right? They didn't like stop. Like,
no.
He spotted it way, and they got closer, and he just like saw it.
Spotted what he thought was a dead, I assume female hand, or just a pale hand with red nails. It's like, oh fuck, dead hand. Gets closer.
And then it starts moving.
And then it starts moving.
Right.
Yeah.
So so there's no, it was just, this is a very quick,
scant matter of seconds.
Right.
When he could have even brought it to the attention.
Right. That's
of
what I'm
the
like,
rest of
well,
his
this
family.
probably because this happened like that.
So it happens that quick. Yeah. Plus you're that young. You're not
You're just like,
oh my God, look, that crazy hand.
Yeah.
Though not bringing it up later is interesting too.
Yeah. I guess it is kind of weird.
Well, I guess maybe
but after the point,
because it's just so fast, like, did that even, is it a thing?
Sure.
Did this
will anyone believe me?
It is kind of hard to process that, though, for sure. If it was one of us, he'd be like, dude, fucking hand in the shore of the fucking Wasco, bro. Let's go fucking find it.
Let's follow 2 planets for 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
The Uncle Bobby story.
No, we all did it.
Yeah,
no,
doubt.
we all did. We all did. Moving on, Robert, to our next story.
Our second story comes to us from OKSun2943, who in 2022 posted to Reddit, quote, "My partner and I were in an online relationship for the first 6.5 months of our relationship. Yes, this is actually semi-needed information in parentheses. I used to nanny for my dad and sister, and one night after the kids had gone to bed, I called my partner as I usually did, so that I could also feel safe when I went to bed, since it was only me and the kids at the time. My bedroom door was open, and facing the door was the banister to the top of the stairs, and the other bedroom was across the hall. I had the light on in the hallway since it was only midnight and I still wanted to stay up for a bit. I suddenly had a very odd feeling, as I usually did in the home, and I looked at the banister and saw a dark hand slowly slide behind the wall. I slept with the lights on after that. Fast forward about a couple of weeks to maybe a month later.
I'm doing a hand motion here that people on Patreon can see. The hand went behind the wall.
I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No.
I noticed. What are you doing?
If you're paying for that $10 tier, you can watch me do the hand motion.
Wow.
So
Shit,
it went
3D.
It went. Yeah.
It's up Jaws 3.
It went behind the wall.
I don't even know what that means.
No.
So
Look at the banister and the hand slowly hit
Or maybe it was like,
behind
okay, so like the
wall.
banister's here and the wall's here. So it was like, boop,
all right,
like
so
that.
yeah,
Like
so
a
the,
little point.
the banister might have gone up to a doorway,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
as some do.
All right. Okay.
So that makes sense. I mean, a lot of them have
Maybe.
the
I
open
don't know.
railing on the second floor, and you have that.
But that's
like,
what I
weird
picture in my
hallway.
mind. But
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
I might just be against the wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Just-
All right. So just random hand going up the banister.
Though, how much
Okay.
doper if it had just been like sliding down, hanging out,
dude?
having fun.
fucking doing skate moves?
Just slides down.
Yeah.
It has,
Do you guys remember those little
yeah,
skateboards with the two
A little
fingers?
fingerboard.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
man, that'd be
100%.
dope.
If I was an ambulatory hand, I would definitely get a fingerboard.
100%. You have to.
You gotta
Do like a little kick flip and be like, fuck you. Yeah, dude. The
punk rock hand.
Do punk rock.
Oh, yeah. Hand or pocket.
Fucking
Real deep hole. But
skateboarding's not a crime.
All
Fuck
right, so
you.
all right, we were setting a mood.
Yeah, okay, we
That's
were.
been
All right,
completely
sorry,
shattered.
I ruined it.
No, it wasn't you.
It's okay. It's
We
okay.
all ruined it. That's the joy of us.
It was the hand.
It's called friendship.
all right, banister
The
hand.
hand.
Bannister.
Banister hand.
David Bannister.
David, I know that's what I kept. That's immediately what I thought of too.
Oh,
If this was a TV show,
Yeah,
oh my
was.
God. Can you
Oh, yeah.
imagine if it got angry and just turned into a real pissy skating
Yeah.
hand?
just a slightly bigger green hand,
Oh
Yeah,
my
just
God.
Fucking pissed.
slightly stronger
Just
than normal.
like
Yeah.
the fucking fist that always sucked. The Hulk fist.
Or if it just flew
Yeah.
and just like could punch through walls, that would be fucking scary.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would be
yeah.
fucking scary,
Because then you
dude.
just were not safe.
It'd be
No.
like the hairy hands of Dartmoor, but like
Yeah.
Marvel style.
Yeah,
It'd be
Just
crazy.
Fucking, it could grab you by the face and just fucking dig your eyes out.
just
and
fly
shit.
around and punch, just
Just
through
punch
everything.
Yeah, punch in the mouth. Oh.
That's fair.
All right, man.
All
All
right.
right. Back in the mood.
Fast forward about a couple of weeks to maybe a month later, and me and my partner finally meet. A couple of days go by, and all is well, but one night we went downstairs to hang out, and the oven was on. I hadn't used the stove that day. I think we ordered DoorDash for dinner, and it was just us and the kids. The only thing we could think of is that the oldest had accidentally turned it on, but he would have had to climb up on the stove to do so, and we definitely would have known if he'd done that. All right, little mystery.
All right, fair.
Either the next night or a few nights later, my partner had gone downstairs to get something to drink. The kids were in bed, and I was upstairs waiting for him to come back. And when he did, he told me he'd seen a hand that had, a wood-like texture to it that had disappeared around the corner towards the youngest's room / toy room. So a little wooden hand.
Oh, I can think it was in Creep Show with the Native American statue, and it has
Oh,
the
yeah,
hand,
yeah.
and he dips
Oh.
it in the paint, and he's like, he does the thing.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
man,
It could have been so good, and it was so bad.
I know. I recently got that score from Waxworks Records, and it's fucking
Mhm.
dope. But yeah, the weird wooden hand. Well, the guy from Happy Gilmore, right? The guy with the wooden hand.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Happy Gilmore? The guy had the wooden hand.
I think so.
It was what's his name? Oh my God, from Rocky. Jesus, what the hell? I
Oh,
can't.
Carl
Carl
Weathers.
Weathers?
Carl Weathers. How did I forget Carl Weathers? R.I.P. Too soon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude.
I know. At least he had a renaissance
Yeah.
before he
I
perished.
know.
So that's that.
God damn.
So why is this wood? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, it's
Or
weird,
why does it
dude.
look
Why does it look?
woody?
Yeah.
Because we don't know. And weirder still, why is this thing crawling into the youngest child's room?
You better go look into this thing, man.
We both went downstairs to see if we could find anything, and we found nothing. Both kids were in bed, and again, it was just us. The doors locked, and it was late at night. Ever since then, I haven't stopped thinking about those experiences. I frequently think about the hands that we both saw and the things we both felt in that home. The hand I'd seen vanished fairly quickly, and it could have been a figment, of my imagination. However, with both of us seeing the exact same thing, I'm not sure if it was a hallucination or my overactive imagination. It freaks me out to this day to think about what might have been or might still be lurking in that house. End quote. So, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Weird.
you both. It's kind of odd that you both see weird disembodied hands, like for sure. But
Yeah.
seeing a wooden one though,
Odd touch.
it's odd. Yeah, makes me think like, skeptically speaking, could like one of the kids be fucking around, playing around with something, having some kind of like You know,
why does that
a Groot hand or
a
something?
moving hand?
Well,
Just
yeah.
because it looks like it has a wood
A
texture,
Groot
how does that make it a kid's prank?
A Groot hand, baby Groot.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't know.
and
I mean,
I
that
don't
would be
know.
really small.
So really
Baby
weird.
Groot hand
It'd be
would
a
be a
really
normal hand.
weird.
it's dragging it like fishing line.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, it's just weird.
That is not Occam's razor.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is not.
Good.
The magnanimity.
The magnanimity of Occam's,
Occam's
razor.
razor.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. All right, man. All right. Well, we're off
Jesus,
to a start here,
that's a
boys.
tough word.
We got disembodied hands lurking all over the house.
And we've got
Right.
more.
Trying to
Wood,
touch,
not
coming under
wood.
the table at you. La, 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 la. Yeah,
Wow.
he was coming at you.
I don't know about that sound,
That
but
was kind of fucking weird.
Our third case.
It was my goose.
Oh my God. Oh,
that's a
from
goose?
Top Gun.
Goose. No, goose the animal. La, 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 la,
Oh,
like that.
gee.
yeah, because I'm like, I don't remember Top Gun.
Yeah, I don't remember that at
Why
all.
would goose make that
Anthony
noise?
Edwards wouldn't be caught dead making
No,
that
the
noise.
animal, a goose.
I mean, that's still not what a goose sounds like.
No,
I know,
never.
it's more like a weird scream.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right.
All right.
Third case
Third case coming
Anybody?
at you. Coming at you hard.
comes to us from a user named Birdman Dodd, one
Cool.
word,
All right, sweet.
who posted his experience on the paranormal section of Reddit in 2020.
Oh,
A lot of Reddit stories.
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
So I had this experience when I was roughly around 8 or maybe 10. I'd grown up on horror movies, but I was really well grounded and was pretty logical at that age, as I didn't believe in monsters but was curious about ghosts, etc. I wasn't prone to just making stuff up or believing in the super fantastic. I always believed there was a scientific reason, or at least something I could figure out. So this was one of my first real paranormal experiences before they kicked into higher gear later in life. And, you know, if paranormal experiences are going to kick into high gear, do it to an adult.
Yeah.
Kids don't need that shit. I'm just talking to the paranormal experiences that are listening.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Well, just in case they're listening. Yeah.
Yeah, just in case. Now for my story.
That's funny.
I'm downstairs watching TV on the couch, and the couch is directly against the wall, tight, like less than 2 inches. It's dark and I'm watching TV, and the show has bright colors, so there is good ambient light in the basement. My mom calls me for dinner, and I get up from the couch and I feel something behind me. I turn my head around and I can't believe what I'm seeing. This white gloved hand, like a museum glove, was reaching out from behind the couch for me. Several things ran through my head that moment. 1, this can't be real. 2, there is no way for someone to be back there. 3, fuck, run.
Yeah.
I can identify.
At least fuck get up and defend.
No, run. Run's the way.
Yeah, you're gonna
Oh my
balk,
God,
'cause
you
it's yeah.
Stand your couch. What won't you defend?
Yeah, it's you in your goddamn home.
He doesn't own the home. It's his parents' home.
Even worse, honor.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, you must have been weird.
Yeah.
That flag ain't gonna raise his goddamn self, Robert. How dare you?
Fair enough.
Oh
right.
man.
Here we go.
Okay. I whip my head back and turn my body, and just as my legs start to move and the momentum carries me forward, I feel something just ever so light grab at the air behind me. I could feel the malicious intent coming off whatever the hell
See?
it was.
Stand your fucking
They
couch.
always can though.
That's true. That's true.
It's always that. I could feel it watching me. I could feel the eyes. I could feel the hay. I could feel this.
Yeah.
I could feel that. I could feel the pancakes. Feel the ham. Feel the like. I'm all right, dude.
Chris is not wrong. There is a subjective element.
Yeah, I can feel the Cobra Commander.
Right.
I can feel the Terradrome.
I mean, I would
Tear
love
the
to feel that.
Terradrome.
I can feel.
I mean, that was a
I can
great
feel
toy.
Optimus Prime. I can feel Ultra Magnus.
Wow, Weasel in his fucking in a sweet jet.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, Weasel.
What?
Wow,
Wow.
Weasel,
Wow,
dude.
Deep
dude.
cuts.
Lightfoot.
Yeah. Lightfoot.
Who
Yeah.
knows that
Fucking
guy?
goddamn shockwave.
They started
yeah.
just inventing positions for G.I. Joe guys because they needed more G.I. Joe guys. They're like, what's this guy?
Dude, barbecue.
I love
Seriously, barbecue. Like,
He was a
oh,
great figure.
Who's this guy? Barbecue.
Just
You're like,
fireman.
what does he do?
Yeah,
He's
not that it's bad, but
no, he's but on like a military team, but he looks the dopest.
right.
Man.
There's just one fireman, and weird like a.
Dude, he always
the
had
helmet
an
was cool.
axe.
The
and
axe,
turned him
yeah.
into he just like slaughtered Cobra troopers.
Yeah.
Like
No, he became the masked
they're
killer.
like, I have children. He's like, your children are dead as well. Bah.
Yeah.
For reasons I can't figure. I was a Star Wars kid. Obviously, I was the right age. Everything else. So highly articulated GI Joes. Not something I collected. Didn't watch
Yeah.
the show really. My mom, for reasons I don't know, buys me a fucking shipwreck. And so I got a pile
Shipwreck
of Star Wars, and I got
You get
with a little
shipwreck.
parrot on the shoulder
He has a tattoo.
and a tattoo, and
His
I'm like,
tattoo's awesome.
I thanked her. I was like, oh, but now I've got this rangy ass, tall, elbow bending fucking sailor.
Yeah.
that I'm trying to integrate into my further adventures in the cosmos.
You have to.
And he was there.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, and
Yeah.
he talked like this. It's me,
Yeah.
Shipwreck. You know, worst fucking voice.
Yeah, Harvey
ever, dude.
Firestein.
Hey, Duke. It was awful, dude. He had a sweet fucking chest hat, though.
Oh, I'm not.
dude. He was
Listen,
awesome.
it was a cool figure. I was like, well, he was kidnapped from Earth,
He had a parrot,
kind of
too,
like
right?
Star-Lord. Yeah.
He had a parrot, yeah.
and
You had to
he
figure
went
out
to
a
the
way-
cosmos.
His-
Oh, I
I think-
had to have a whole
I think
backstory.
his gun was a 6-shooter, wasn't it? Even
God, at
better.
this
It was like a
point.
357
I wouldn't
Magnum.
be surprised.
Fuck. All right, man.
Okay.
We're feeling it. We're feeling the
Digression.
intent. We're feeling the
So you feel
malicious
things
intent.
behind you. At this point, this gentleman feels the horror of the malicious intent
Yeah.
wafting off whatever the hell this thing is.
It was a terrible shipwreck I did, by the way. I'm kind of upset you guys didn't call me out on it.
I mean, I don't even remember him. Really.
No, but if you were just like, hey, what G.I. Joe guys did this, and you did that voice, I would probably know because he had that voice.
I need you to hold me accountable.
All right, do your Sartan.
All right,
we'll all feel better.
It's just because your normal shit's really bad, and that and that one was okay.
Oh God! Oh God! I think I just blew my headphones off. Holy fuck! All right. Sorry. Digression's over. Back to it.
Yeah. No, you really
hold your friends accountable, people. Hold them accountable.
Okay.
owning the
Terrible
momentum here.
Fucking shipwreck.
Really got to flow. If you
impersonation.
guys were chilled to the bone, well, sorry.
Oh, you're gonna get chilled. You're gonna get chilled.
I knew that if I was grabbed, then it was something I'd never escape. So again, a fairly subjective perspective,
Yeah.
but that's how he feels. I ran and never looked back. It took years to watch TV in the basement without all the lights on. There was something evil in that house or something. Tell me I'm not nuts because I still remember it clear as the day it happened. Okay, it was written a little sketchy, but he wrote it. I still remember it clear as day 30 years later. Oh man, I guess
No, it
clear
makes
as
sense.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay, yeah.
that's my reading, not his writing. I apologize. I can tell you what was on the TV when I was watching it and what we had for dinner that night. I didn't tell my parents, but I did tell my best friend at the time. And there was something in his eyes when I told him that said he knew something. Weird.
What?
Cryptic. Adding,
Okay.
I know a few of my girlfriends felt very uneasy in the basement when they were alone. If you're waiting for like follow-up, you're fucked.
No, you're
No,
gonna leave
there
the
is-
friend,
of course there is
the
no
friend
follow-up.
knew the fucking that the hand was an issue.
The horror of the hand.
The
Or
whole
knew
neighborhood
some
was
piece of
haunted by the
info,
hand. It's a
yeah.
Freddy Krueger hand.
Or a Michael Jackson beloved hand, even though it's
Yeah.
not sequence. It's just
Yeah,
white
that's that picture
museum
of the
blood.
white, like the
Yeah.
putting on the Ritz hand.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's exactly if
Really, though.
taco
Taco
or whatever.
hand.
Yeah, taco hand. All right, man. Weird. All right, well.
No, I hate it still.
Yeah, no, that thing is open ended as fuck, dude.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
I mean, years later, your girlfriends are there. They're feeling. I mean, I guess basements can be squirrely anyway. Who knows what kind
yeah,
of
depending.
I assume it was
mean,
probably somewhat
furnished.
done.
Yeah, I would think so, too.
A white gloved hand.
Yeah, that is
fucking
weird.
bizarre.
And you
It
know,
is.
Like it has a fashion sense.
I always felt secure
Or
because
spectral.
Or,
Wow.
yeah.
well, you can't. All right, first off, sure, fashionable. I'll give you that.
Okay.
You can't rule out phantasmal hand. I get it.
With a white glove.
The phantom grip, whatever. All of that is absolutely true. But what I will say is, from my own perspective, being afraid of all sorts of crazy shit, as a young child, practical and impractical, I loved it when couches were pushed up against a wall.
No,
because I'm
yes.
like, safe. That
totally,
would
yeah.
fuck me up completely because it's like, oh, nope. I'm just if I had just heard the story as
if
a
it's
kid,
tight to
it
the
would have
wall,
ruined
but
me.
man, that thing could have been like
2 inches. I said 2 inches. 2 inches. That's enough for a fucking hand.
Yeah, a hand could, slowly.
Yeah, but you need
just-
everything else attached.
No, there's nothing else attached. It's just a hand.
So
though.
like an inflatable latex glove? What are you saying? A prop?
No, it's a hand. It's a severed hand.
Well, I'm just saying a severed hand. Yeah,
Yeah,
severed
no, a
hand
hand-
could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like a hoax or something.
No, man. This is the devil.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is this
Well, no,
This is
yeah.
the devil.
This is
No,
the
this
devil, dude.
A similar, though eerily unique incident plagued another Reddit user, Hazardous Koala, who wrote, I've had a strange experience at my great-grandmother's house at the age of 5 or 6 that has been going through my mind ever since. I hardly remember her at all, but I remember her nickname, Bones. She earned that because she was so skinny, she looked like a skeleton.
I mean, cool.
But she's not the focus of this story. He goes on to add. Now, I was raised on horror movies and gore, so my imagination is wild. I probably watched Dawn of the Dead at least 10 times under the age of 10. I was used to jump scares and suspense, but this experience I had over at Bones' house would chill me to the bone. A lot of bone.
A lot of bones.
Yeah, wow. Overuse of the word bone. I'm going to throw a penalty.
I mean, I didn't write that
not
part.
at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so used to. I'm saddled with demerits.
No, you're not. You haven't gotten demerits in a while. You've been a good boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I remember the scene so vividly. I was sitting down with a gift Bones gave me. It was this little pinball game that sat on the floor. On the retro TV played Sleepy Hollow, and the Tree of the Dead scene started. Decent Tim Burton film. I'm a fan of it.
I like Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, weird choice having what's his name is the
Christopher Walken.
as the headless horseman with the
But
crazy
it worked.
teeth. He's
As the crazy Hessian? Sure,
Yeah,
but
no,
why
it's
not?
well, he didn't play him in the action scenes. He was just the guy.
No, but I have that action figure somewhere, probably still. Random Christopher Walken with crazy fucking teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That's dope.
Super weird choice to casting. Almost as bad as him as the Emperor in Dune.
Yeah, I liked it though.
Really?
Oh man, I like
Wow.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, that's exactly.
My horrible Christopher Walken.
Or
Harkonnen.
am I supposed to say his name
Harkonnen.
Walken? I forget now.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
when I say the L, you guys
Walken?
freak out.
Walken.
Christopher Walken?
Welkin.
Walken.
Welkin.
Sorry, Christopher Walken.
Calum Welkin.
Oh, you said it right. Holy shit.
You did.
That's not right.
It's totally right.
I'm choking on my bourbon. That's not right.
It's totally right.
No.
Oh,
all right,
yes.
fuck it.
All
No,
right.
you know what? No, we don't have time. We don't have time.
Here we go.
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
He's got a little tiny pinball machine. He's at Bones' house.
Bones is cool.
Yep, Bones is awesome. I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand as I felt, someone staring at me. I looked immediately to where I thought I was being looked at, which was the couch, except nothing was there. Nothing but a single outstretched hand. It was almost glowing white, and I just stared at it, unable to look away. The couch was pressed against the wall, second case.
Yeah.
No.
So there was no way someone was pulling a prank on me. I was petrified. I didn't speak, move, or dare to do anything to activate what the hell I was observing. Someone walks into the room and tells me it's time for dinner. Another weird correlation. And I immediately run into the kitchen. I didn't tell anyone what I saw, but every now and then I would see the ghostly pale hand just reaching towards me, not moving at all. That's interesting. The frozen hand.
Yeah, weird.
That's really weird. It would be then that the young experiencer who used the initial R claimed to have had an even more harrowing encounter. Quote, I was sleeping over at Bones' house one night, and I do not know if it were a nightmare or reality, but I was greeted by cookie cutter copies of the hands from every edge of my bed, all reaching towards me. I was terrified and did what every kid did and hid under my blanket until I fell back asleep. The hands never showed up again after that horrific night.
Oh, the multiple hands is creepy.
Oh, crawling up like a little army, a little
Yeah,
surging.
like trying to grab you and shit. Oh, it's gross.
Mm.
It's fucking awful, dude.
Flash
Awful.
forward to a year later. When I finally opened up about my experience, my dad told me, quote, that's really weird because I would have the same dream when I went there. So
Ooh,
something
okay.
that's invading your psyche,
Oh,
something that's
weird.
literally happening to you.
Mm.
Yeah, okay.
It's impossible to know whether R's final frightening run-in with this cavalcade of hands was a terrible dream, an hallucination, or a genuine paranatural experience. But he would be far from the last victim to be terrified by these appalling appendages.
And now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp.
What are your self-care non-negotiables? Maybe you never skip leg day or therapy day. When your schedule is packed with kids' activities, big work projects, and more, it's easy to let your priorities slip. Even when we know what makes us happy, it's hard to make time for it. But when you feel like you have no time for yourself, non-negotiables like therapy are more important than ever. Now, therapy can also be helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It will empower you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Now, if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/HellerSpace today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/HellerSpace. And now, back to the show.
The fourth case comes from Reddit. I might have actually numbered these wrong, so everyone ignore my numbering conventions.
That's fine.
Where it was posted in 2020 by Trialbuster, and as brief as it is disturbing. Quote, I too had an experience with a disembodied hand, so I'm glad I found your post. It's good to know there's someone else who's seen something similar. Though the hand I saw, I think, had bad intentions and was demonic in nature. It was similar to yours in that it was pale, only visible until the wrist, but it looked like it belonged to an elderly female. It had long nails and the fingers were thin and looked like it belonged to someone who had severe arthritis and was claw-like. You feel bad for the victim, but it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that's like nicotine-stained hands from some Virginia Slims.
Oh, yeah. I think all of my old aunts smoked that.
Everyone did.
Like just like 1000s, like the longest cigarettes ever.
I used to steal
Yeah.
them from my great aunts. I would
Yeah.
steal those fuckers and go out and back like a badass and smoke. I'm like, yeah, what's up?
Slims.
Fucking giant ass cigarette out here, like look like an asshole.
Like I had one rebel
Yeah.
aunt that like I think smoked Vantages or something.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
But they were still long as shit,
Nice.
you know, Vantage 350s.
Yeah.
Just too fucking big.
Not to hear.
So I understand exactly what you're saying.
yeah, no, this thing's gross, dude.
All right, so back to the hand. It poked out through the hinges of the bathroom door while I was sitting on the toilet. It only lasted a few seconds, but I was frozen scared. It happened when everyone in the house was already fast asleep. So again, Trialbuster's account, very small.
Yeah, but
They apparently at one point could
Very-
see enough of it to see that it wasn't like a full person.
Yeah,
reaching
just
through.
right,
just
you're,
a hand.
you're on the shitter, so you're totally vulnerable.
But shitting at night exactly is
That's-
the most
yeah.
vulnerable you can be.
Yeah, I would have been in that bathroom for hours probably with just the lights
Oh
on,
yeah.
waiting,
yeah,
and then just like, all right, I got to make a plan. I got to book
yep,
back to my room.
yeah.
You slam the door shut because you don't want anything else coming through the cracks or seeing you. But then you instantly regret it because you're like, well,
Now you trapped yourself.
I
Yeah.
got to like, they'll hear
Yeah.
the click in the open and they'll be able to
Stand your
get me.
toilet.
Yeah,
Stand your toilet.
All right, fair. In that case, I understand.
Yeah, you have
You
to.
take a ball peen hammer and you bash anything sticking
You
through
fucking
those
get the
crevices.
plunger.
You get a steak knife and you stab the fuck out of that thing.
Fair.
not if you're trapped in the bathroom.
You're right. Plunger is
Yeah,
like
plunger, I guess.
electric
That's it.
toothbrush,
Plunger's all you got.
manicure.
Yeah, shit.
Oh
All right.
yeah, you might have some sort
Get
of
a little,
fucking.
little some
nail
little
clipper.
nail thing.
Yes.
They got that sharp thing. You do,
Maybe.
so you
Yeah,
can clean the
like a little knife.
cuticles.
What if the hand just needs to be spoiled a little? Maybe don't take the
Don't
violent
even.
tact.
No.
Take the
Right.
you know, make it look beautiful
Maybe
tact.
some mouthwash too out there.
I mean,
should
but you don't have
blind it.
eyes to like blow it in its eyes.
blind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it must know where it's going. Somehow it knows.
It's so funny that as soon as you
Hands.
said mouthwash, I instantly thought like you did, like you spit it right in the eyes. Of course you do.
Oh, the hand that has no
right.
face.
No,
But
you just
the hand that has no face is first off the name of the next script I'm going to write.
right, because none of them have faces.
Yeah.
But
But it sounds terrifying nonetheless.
I like it.
you're gonna do what you got to do.
Yeah, no, you gotta fucking,
Okay.
you gotta fight this thing, dude.
That's all it is. But I think
All
we
right.
can all identify with being on a shitter and the thought of these like bony arthritic hands just digging their way through spaces.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Man.
Bad scene. Everybody's fault.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Again in 2020, a seemingly popular year for revealing weird hand encounters, a Reddit user named Livin' Life Leisurely discussed her experience, not with a hand sticking out from an impossibly small space or behind a door, but apparently floating in thin air. Now we're going to get into some truly paranatural shits. Quote, when I was around 6 or 7 years old, and right before my family moved to the United States. Not for scary haunting related reasons. My dad needed to relocate for his new job. My siblings and I were playing outside on our trampoline while our parents were busy doing yard work, mowing, weeding, etc. No one was inside the house at the time, at least no one alive.
Dun, dun,
Oh, boy.
dun.
Oh, boy.
Well, it was early afternoon, and we had been out there for what felt like hours in my child mind, and I really needed to pee. Like, it was an emergency, and I really did not want to pee my pants, so I got off the trampoline and made my way to the front of the house intent on the nearest bathroom. At the front of the house, there was this large window which jutted forward and out from the rest of the house like a 3D trapezoid. Don't know the name of that either, but I know exactly what
No, I 100% know what they're talking
is
about.
being described. As I was waddling by this window in an attempt to hold it in, I saw a pale white hand rise up from behind the windowsill. The hand was visible only down to the wrist, at which point it looked to be attached to nothing and was suspended in midair.
Oh, Jesus.
Initially, this hand was in an open position and looked as though it was about to wave hello. But instead of waving, it clenched into a fist and knocked on the glass once, twice, thrice. Then it opened into a splayed position and vanished into thin air.
Wow.
What are you doing? You just
That-
heard the
Wow.
dramatic
I did a
reenactment.
whole
Pantomime stores
reenactment.
over here.
Look, if you're paying $10 a month to watch us, I'm going to give the people a show. Okay?
I loved it.
I did the knock. I did the fist. I did the thing.
Yeah, no,
and
you
you even
did.
did the poof.
I even did the poof. Yeah, that's fucking weird, man. What's crazy about that is that's like, well, I don't know. Not really. See, like intent, but the rest of the hands had intent too.
Yeah.
They all have intent, but this thing's like, well,
Well, this thing's hovering.
it's hovering. Yeah, it's floating. Okay, yeah, that's what's weird about
And it
this.
looks like the
one, is
wave, but then it's
floating,
like, and that now sound effects for
Yeah.
the people that are just listening.
Yeah, great.
Yay.
Lovely. Yeah, it does do the knock and then the all right, so it's something directed towards you like that. It's weird.
But it's trying to get this child's attention.
Yeah,
Clearly.
I mean, anything like that though. I mean, it's obviously we
That's
don't really
weird.
do a ton of ghost stuff, but if they were to fit that into like some ghost haunting thing, I get it. You know, like severed hand.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like, what if she didn't have to pee? But she's just waiting there, like, I'm going to wait for the next fucking kid to come
Yeah,
around
that's
to do
true.
this
True.
weird thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it's like right place, right time. She just happened to be there, and that thing happened to be around. I was like, oh shit, check this out! Look at my cool hand trick I can do, and float, knock on the fucking glass.
Wait, do you
and then
think
go this poof?
ghosts work really hard to manifest a single part of their body so they can
No,
show it
no,
off to kids?
this is-
and it was
no.
just a lucky break
No,
for her?
this is like a 1/16th body manifestation
Of a
hand
attached to a.
to a whole ghost, but
Oh, so it is a
you
ghost.
know, to
I
the
just
hand.
because I wasn't because
Yeah.
you were denying it, so I thought you were denying
I
the
wonder if
ghost.
she could see if like bones, like if it was a cut at the wrist or something, like a hand cut off.
She didn't say.
yeah.
Weird. All right, man.
We're not done.
No, we're not.
Now, at this point, the smart thing to do would have been to book it. But I really needed to pee, and I was curious as to who or what could be in the house. Yes, I'm that blonde chick that is the first to die in a horror film.
That's me.
Yeah, I love self-deprecating humor.
That
Yeah,
is
of course.
totally me. I'm with her on this.
As an added bonus, the room I saw the hand in was the same room that was attached to the nearest bathroom, so I would have to enter that room anyway in order to do my business. In my astounding brilliance, I entered the house and that room in particular and asked, "Who's there?" Luckily, or unluckily, I didn't get a response. It was at this point that I knew I had fucked up.
Oh no.
I remembered that everyone was outside and that I was therefore the only person in the house alone. That was when the fear hit me and I booked it out of there. Needless to say, I decided to pee outside that day. There's addendums that she adds. First, just want to add, I don't think that this was anything negative / demonic, etc. Before I and my siblings were born, my parents had a son who had died in that house. I personally believe that this was just him being playful. Second
Okay.
addendum. Although I will admit that it is kind of ironic that after we moved out, the house ended up burning down not once but twice and flooded once.
Oh no.
We lived right next to a river on a floodplain. Would not recommend. Although it was fun to have a river in our backyard growing up. Easy entertainment.
All right.
Fair.
So you know what, man? Worst case here, it's the ghost of your dead brother.
Sure.
And the bummer part is you guys move away and he's pissed because you left him and he burns it down and
Burns
floods
everything.
it.
The ultimate in abandonment.
It really is, dude. That's fucking terrible.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, man. Because if you're
Because that's how an evil ghost happens.
well, yeah,
The
that's how
ghost
you
gets
make
betrayed.
a ghost
Yeah.
evil. Yeah, like if someone dies in the house like that and then you move, like, what if they're stuck there and they're like, where the fuck did everybody
I
go?
know.
Like
You
everyone
want
I
them to-
love.
You want them to go with you.
Mom and dad and the siblings.
What do you like? I do like a sage cage or something, like a cage of sage, and like, get them to go in there. Or
I
something.
just love that you said that.
Sage.
I don't know.
Is that how you? I mean,
sage,
doesn't
a
that repel
cage.
ghosts? Or is that how you trap
No,
ghosts?
you're right. It does.
Are you making this shit up?
Sage
You
them
know,
into
yeah.
a cage or into like a? You need one
Like
of
a
the,
little bird cage,
No,
gilded?
You need one of the fucking the things for the Ghostbusters. You throw them on the floor. You're like, fake him and do it. Hit it. You need one of the trap. You need a ghost trap.
Wow.
It's not a thing.
So you went through all of that just to come to the 1984 magnum opus fucking Ghostbusters?
Right, with tech that isn't a thing.
That
It's
isn't
just
real?
a bummer though to think about that, man. That poor kid, like his family, like moved away. I understand him burning it down the house twice and flooding it.
Sure, but then
He's
that
angry.
also brings up the problem of the rule of ghosts and like why ghosts seem to be able to attach or something.
Right.
Right.
Why
No, you're
some
right.
can't,
You're right.
and why-
Why can poltergeist move, but apparently ghostly
Yeah.
manifestations get stuck?
Yeah, that's true.
Why be unlocked? Why be able to do whatever the fuck you want when you're alive, but as soon as you die, you're like rubber fucking cemented to wherever the fuck you died?
Yeah, it's true.
Yes,
For
sometimes
however many decades or
not.
centuries.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I guess that's unfortunately the science that we don't understand yet.
Yeah.
Or as you call it, magic.
No, I never call it magic.
Science we don't understand is magic.
I literally always call it science we don't understand.
I thought you referred to it as magic.
You know what it is? Magic.
You son of a bitch. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Double Darvo down.
Wow. Oh, dude, you fucking double darvoed me now. You son
that
of
was just a
bitch.
scam. That wasn't even Darbo.
It wasn't even a Darvo, no. It was just definitely a scam.
Just nothing. All right.
It's so stupid.
All
Our
right.
penultimate
Oh,
case.
my favorite case, the penultimate.
You love the penultimate.
I love the penultimate.
Again from Reddit, shockingly. Was posted in 2019 by Bandrui. You know what? Let me do this right. Bandrui Rose.
Bandrui Rose.
Sure.
You know what? Bandrui Rose. Bandrui Rose sounds better.
I like Band Ruby Rose.
Well, there's no Ruby. There's no B. Well, the first B. is B.
Band
Inventing a lot of-
Rose.
I mean,
letters in
Chris, do you want to throw a pronunciation in there? 'Cause
No, I
yours
mean
will be right.
it looks like Bandrui Rose looks
There it is.
right.
all right,
but-
fine.
A young woman whose disturbing experience will likely haunt her dreams for how long?
The rest of her day.
The rest of her fuck-sucking days.
Possibly beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Into the night. Sorry. I had to pull a Chris.
You
Quote.
really? I'm like, wow, that was a good me.
It was a good Chris.
Yeah.
It really
Nice.
was, actually. I have been contemplating whether or not to post this for months, as I know it is a crazy concept, and I know there are some people who might think I am completely insane. Even I still have no clue what actually happened here. I have had countless paranormal experiences my whole life, but this is by far the most intense one I've ever had. And yeah, that deserves a little pin.
Okay.
You can be someone who's susceptible to paranormal events.
No, we know people that are like that for sure.
In no way does it devalue or
Right.
knock down, but trying to keep a skeptical, not a shitbag debunking eye, but a skeptical eye. When you have a lifetime of paranormal experiences, it can either A, be accurate, B, be semi-accurate in that some of them are paranormal and some of them you're mistaking for paranormal, which still means you're having a lot of paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
100%.
Or it can mean you're really predisposed to take natural events and assume they are fucking paranatural.
That's true as well.
None of that I'm like accusing
this-
Band-Aid Rose, who I'm going to call her from now on,
Right.
of doing.
Banjo Bowie knife.
There it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, there it is, and that's what she said.
It makes sense.
And this one, the most intense. So
Okay. All right. I'm
I was a
strapped in.
teenager, around 17 years old. This happened one Saturday afternoon when I was alone at home. Back then, I did belly dancing and would have to practice for shows on Saturday mornings. I don't know who your parents are, but there needs to be a case open.
I think it's just like a
Get ready for your Saturday morning show.
I think it's just,
You're feeding the family.
It's just like it's like the art of belly dancing.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
I've actually seen some belly dancers in our local dead mall.
Dude, oh my God.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. We have a buddy who's a belly dancer.
Oh my God, we do. That's right.
Oh, I forgot she did that.
Yeah. And I've seen it. It's really cool.
She's great.
No, she's awesome.
It's an art form.
God, why can't I be a belly dancer?
You can.
I
mean,
for a price.
belly
No.
Wow.
I
The
don't know what that means.
ultimate
Yeah.
price.
Just me crying in the corner dancing for Chris. What's the price? You'll know.
Harder.
You'll know.
You're not there yet.
It's terrible.
Fucking
All
right.
right, man. We're belly dancing here on a Saturday morning. Let's fucking do it. Here we go.
On this particular Saturday, my mom dropped me off at home afterward and went off to run errands. I was excited to be alone. It was an opportunity to sneak a call on the home phone. Back then, I was almost never allowed to use the home phone to make calls as it was costly. And, you know, back in the day, if you were just outside of a civilized area, whatever you want to call it, like everything was long distance.
You know, I would call our buddy Sirio in Baldwinsville, and it was considered a long distance.
Yeah.
And he's literally like 20 miles on the road.
Oh, I love the
It was
death
just
of long
Baldwinsville,
distance.
right? Yeah.
What's that?
That was just Baldwinsville.
And Baldwinsville was considered a long distance. Yeah. No, thank God
Syracuse
all
was
that.
from us.
Yeah, no, that's, same thing.
Well,
Absurd.
yeah, different area
Yeah,
code.
thank God all that shit died.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck you, AT&T. Fuck you, Big Phone.
Oh,
Fuck
my
you,
bell.
My Bell.
Rotten hell.
Yeah, My Bell, rotten hell.
So I took the phone into my room and I called this guy I had been chatting with back then. The conversation was going well and I was laughing and chatting away. And I had my belly dance hip scarf in my hand and I was absent-mindedly swinging it about. It was the type that had the metal coins in it, so it was making a jingling sound as I swung it. Now, what I'm about to say is totally bizarre, and I am well aware of that, but this is 100% what I saw and what happened to me on that day. I saw a hand that appeared out of nowhere next to me and bashed my bed a total of 3 times. This happened so fast, I barely had any time to register what was happening. Obviously, I freaked out. I screamed and jumped up off my bed and out of my room so fast, I think I must have completed the entire movement in no more than 2 steps. My friend on the other end of the phone was frantically asking me what was wrong and what had happened, but I was in so much shock that I could not even speak a full sentence coherently. It probably took me about 5 minutes to be able to speak enough to explain what had happened, and I was crying at this point. I would not go back into that room. My friend was so convinced that someone had somehow broken into my house as he had heard the sound of the 3 bangs on my bed that he wanted to drive over to my house. He kept on asking me if I was sure there was no one in my room, and maybe they'd been hiding under my bed or something. I kept on explaining to him that I had seen the hand and that it had no body attached to it. It had just been a hand. If there was a whole person in my house, I would have seen the rest of them and they wouldn't have vanished into thin air. That's weird logic. Like a full body can disappear into thin air if a hand can. I mean, I'm willing to go out on that limb anyway.
Yeah, well, I assume she saw enough of a hand where there was a space where...
Oh, no. I agree. It just seems odd. Like, it was a whole body. I would have known.
Right, yeah, yeah.
It's like shit vanishes, it vanishes. But yes, I completely agree.
Okay.
He was still not 100% convinced and asked me to leave my house until my mom got back. The only reason he didn't think I was insane and he truly believed that I had been in some sort of danger was because he had actually heard the bangs. He confirmed that they had sounded very loud even to him and that it sounded fast and forceful. So I essentially had an encounter with a disembodied hand that physically bashed my bed right next to me. This was not something I had imagined or something that had just been a hallucination. I am happy in a way that he heard, so I knew that I was not crazy. I cannot think of any logical explanations for this experience, no matter how hard I try. Whenever I tell someone about this, which I don't often do, as I'm not trying to get thrown in a mental institution, their first response is usually, "You were probably just dreaming. Things seem so real in dreams." Or, "Were you not maybe in that state in between sleeping and waking where you can hallucinate?" And my answer is no. I was wide awake. It was during the day, bright sunshine outside, and I was fully conscious and aware, speaking on the phone, plus the person on the phone could confirm what he heard and confirm that I was fully awake.
Yeah, that's the thing that's having that corroboration there, that he actually heard the bangs on the bed.
Yeah, if it was just a
That's
report
crazy.
of a girl home alone after dancing lessons and she drifted off to sleep, who knows?
Yeah.
Or a boy, anybody alone, a little tired on a
but
Saturday morning.
Hearing it over the
Yeah.
phone, then we were like, what the fuck was that? And they're like, some hand appeared and bashed my bed and disappeared.
Absolutely.
Weird, dude.
Yeah. That changes everything.
Fucking super creepy.
People have even asked me if I was taking some sort of hallucinogenic, which again is no. I have never and will never take any form of hallucinogens. This is what I saw and what happened, as bizarre as it may sound. One person suggested to me once that maybe I had irritated a spirit that had been present with the jingling, jangling sound of my hip scarf that I had been swinging around, and that they had merely been trying to tell me to shut the fuck up. The bang, bang, bang could have essentially been a, hey, 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 stop that. This was a woman who had had her own crazy paranormal experiences, so was more open-minded than others, and she was one of the only ones who genuinely believed me when I said I had seen this. I guess this could be a possibility. This house was pretty active in terms of paranormal experiences already, although it had never been anything of a dangerous or really frightening nature, end quote. As frightening as her experiences with the hand was, as the years drifted by, it's likely that memories of the event began to fade into the background. That was until a family reunion brought the fear rushing back. Say her name, Chris.
Ben Drury Rose?
Yes.
Banjo Bowie knife wrote.
One night, my sister and I were having a few glasses of wine when I was visiting her, and I decided to tell her about the hand. I expected her to laugh at me and think it was ridiculous, but she actually didn't. She looked at me and said, that's weird. And then she told me a story of this thing that used to happen to her and my brother when they were very little. They were between the ages of 5 and 8. She said they used to believe that there was this scary hand in some rooms of the house, especially the passageway off the bedrooms, that would sometimes appear and chase them out. She said they used to call it the yucky hand.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right.
And they would run away screaming. But she said since she'd grown up, she just chalked it up to their wild imagination and had assumed that the hand never actually existed, and it had just been a game they played and got themselves all scared and riled up.
Fair.
But when I told her about seeing this hand, she started to wonder. She had actually completely forgotten about their yucky hand. I just find it bizarre that they used to have the story about a disembodied hand, and then I saw a disembodied hand.
True.
Which is fair. That's a little nudge at the end. That's that little Rod Serling could have written that.
No, for sure.
Little M. Night Shyamalan.
Shimmerling
Shamalama ding dong.
Yeah, little yucky hand. Sounds like a game to play. Want to play yucky hand?
Yeah, if this was like an episode.
I don't want to play yucky hand.
Yeah,
No, our first off, shut the fuck up. I didn't want to hear that sentence
come on,
again.
Banjo Bowie knife.
No, anyone ever even says the phrase yucky hand to me is going to get fucking a fistful of fucking knuckles in their fist. I'm going to punch their hand because I don't want to play yucky hand.
That's your game of yucky hand?
That's how you
No,
play yucky
I don't want to
hand?
play yucky. I don't want to hear about yuck. If someone says yucky hand, someone once asked me.
It sounds really not optimal.
A super drunk girl whom I had been intimate with occasionally in the past once asked me if I knew what noodling was. And I said,
Like
I don't know what you're talking about.
With catching catfish.
I assume I know that now.
Yeah.
I didn't know. She says it's when you put your hand into a wet hole, wiggle, and wait for something to bite. And then started kissing me. And I was like, you just played yucky hand with me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That was a no-go. It was a no-go from that moment on. Granted, it was just like a silly little drunk joke, and I wasn't, but that's a yucky hand moment. Like, just don't grub me
I don't know
out.
how they do that with noodling. Like, I would be afraid of.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, but catfish have teeth.
Yeah, well, they have like gritty
They
little
have
sandpaper
barbs.
teeth.
They got barbs and shit. And
But
just
what
putting
if
your hand
what
in
if
the
it's
dark.
a fucking snapping turtle? Then
Oh yeah,
finger
dude.
free in 33 or whenever you're noodling.
I have to assume when you do that, they know what they're doing.
Oh, I don't.
I mean,
and the reason I know I don't is because we all know a guy we know who's a local, who's in a lot of bands. I'm not going to out his name specifically on here, but you guys all know him. Red hair, dreadlocks.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Who fucking was on one of those shows with like minimal experience.
Really?
From
He
upstate
was?
New York. Yeah.
No shit.
When
No, wait,
apparently
I feel like I
noodling was all
remember
the
this.
craze.
That's awesome.
And this dude wasn't like an expert at knowing where snapping turtle live or what's going on. He was thrown in a fucking swamp bog and jamming his hand in holes and hoping to catch some shit by biting his hand.
The reality, it's the power in the power of reality TV.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that
Okay.
in no way allows for Chris's explanation. I'm assuming that no. Maybe like the oldest hands, the most seasoned practitioners of the sport.
And
the
this-
people whose
Yeah, well,
family
yeah.
would starve because they couldn't even afford, I don't know, twigs and
Maybe
twine.
this explains the hands that we're talking about this episode.
Are they all were they all in a
Severed-
catfish's gullet?
Severed hands from noodling.
Oh my God.
Because if a catfish eats your hand, you know what
I
happens.
mean,
when
I don't
it
know if
goes
there's
in-
ever been a report of that happening.
No one would report it. It's a mark of shame
Yeah. You're
for a
not gonna-
noodler
you're
to
not
lose a
gonna do that.
hand.
All right.
You just get a hook and fucking shut up.
All right. Yucky hands aside.
All right, so yucky hands is a terrible phrase.
It is.
Okay. No one wants to play yucky hands. I lost my place, so I'm just sort of fiddle-diddling until I find it. I'm seeing yucky hands galore in this fucking writing here. She saw a disembodied hand.
Are we
Okay.
dealing with a childhood playmate?
Are we dealing here with childhood playmates of a paranormal persuasion, ghosts who can only partially manifest, or something altogether darker? Our final report from Roses Are Red 103. I don't want to tell you how long it took me to figure out that's how that was said. Rose Serere?
Yeah.
Sereed? Yeah, I'm an idiot. Roses Are Red 103 leaves little doubt that some of these manifestations are not only real, but very unpleasant. She writes, I have only 3 paranormal experiences in my life. My first was a disembodied hand. Start off strong.
Wow, that's how you top that one.
I was only about 4 or 5, living in a relatively new house in San Diego. I had a beautiful Cocker Spaniel dog, Daisy, who slept with me every night. One particular early morning, I felt something jump on my bed. So I woke up thinking my pup had gone outside to use the bathroom and was coming back to the bed. So I fully woke to tuck her back in bed. What I found was my dog, already on the bed, scared because a hand was holding onto my bed. It seemed as though the hand was attached to an arm which came out from under the bed, but no, just a hand chilling there right next to me.
Okay.
This is one of those moments that you can't help but to put yourself into the place of the person you're reading about and wonder what you would do, what your reaction would be if, God forbid, you were in that scenario. Just, you feel the pounce on your bed.
Yeah, for sure.
You think it's a kitty, a puppy, whatever.
You
whatever
look at the
fuck
dog
is.
and be like, do your job,
Do your
Daisy.
fucking job.
Yeah, you're whatever you are. You got teeth. You're a dog. Bite. Attack.
Yeah.
Sick. Chopper sick
Not
balls.
all dogs attack, dude.
No.
It's true. None of my dogs have ever.
Just a lot of them just don't.
Do you want to know what happens?
What's that?
Yeah.
My dog jumped off the bed and fled into the other room.
Like,
Yeah.
You know why? That dog's a survivor.
Yeah.
Dogs were smart.
Or also fuck that dog for
No.
not doing its duty.
He's like, fuck you. I'm going to the SPCA and getting a new home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
fuck
when you're
off.
dead, I'm adoptable.
Yeah, they're going to put
Look
me
at
on.
how fucking cute
They're
I
going to put
am.
me on a pet finder. I got papers. There you go.
The only good look I got at the hand was that it was black/brown, slimy, and super gross, with longish nails and boils scattered about. Classic definition of Chris's yucky hand.
Yeah, dude, it's like
Yeah.
a zombie hand.
Yeah.
It's all like devoid of like creep fucking hand.
It's like been waterlogged for too long.
Yeah.
And if you just
Oh.
touch it, it'll slough off.
Oh yeah.
Or slough
Ooh.
off.
Okay,
I don't know
okay,
how to say the word.
Okay, it's gross. It's gross.
Yeah, it's grubby.
gross.
Yucky hands are grubby. We know this.
Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so boils. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah,
Okay.
those are never good. Yeah.
I, as the terrified child, pulled the blanket over my head and stayed awake until my dad woke up. Perfect plan.
Yeah, it works.
Don't run away. Just hide. When the hopping hand
Scream for your
with
dad.
all the boils. You don't need to get the plague. No kid needs the plague.
Scream
No.
for your dad.
I told him about the event, and he said I must have been dreaming. I have occasionally told the story to my close friends, and they all said the same thing. I'm glad someone else has had a similar experience. So this is somebody, I think, responding to one of the stories that was in here.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm glad it had, because all my friends said I was dreaming my dad. And that's fair.
No, 100%.
In the body of experience, I would say the vast majority of humans have. A hopping, boil-covered, slimy-ass hand is not, part of our life experience.
Generally, no.
And you're a small kid. That's the other thing. So much to unwrap here, but we'll finish it up first. But so many small kids involved.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in conclusion, in 2022, a user with the frankly wicked name of the Neckbromancer
Cool.
Nice.
wrote in response to OK Sun's post, which is one of the stories we talked about recently, the following brief on bodiless hands, which I found very intriguing. Quote, disembodied limbs are sometimes seen as aspects of broader haunting activity. One of the more common apparitions associated with typical haunted house type shenanigans is the upper torso or head and shoulder manifestations. There's also this weird roller skating torso and head that I've read about.
What?
That'll end up in an inexplicable at some point.
What?
But yeah, no,
It's
this
not
weird
roller
shit.
skates?
Yeah, well, you sound of roller skating and like a super buff torso and a hot dude with arms,
On roller
legs,
skates?
or a pelvis is, but the sound, but
There's just
clearly
the
going through the
sound.
motions
Yeah.
of, or has invisible extremities.
That's fucking
not,
amazing.
That's not today. That's
No,
another.
I can't get off this.
The next time
You
we
have
do
to
a,
because we got to finish this.
Okay, it's true.
crazy,
That's very true.
a crazy cavalcade of shit, we'll do
Okay,
that.
fine. I'm
But
so
but
fucking.
but the
I'm like-
Neckbromancer is right. Like
Okay.
partial body things are
Right.
sometimes a part of haunting.
Understandable.
This hand, however, seems to be somewhat atypical. There are some historical examples that come to mind, however. In Mexico, La Mano Peluda, and I have a lot of south of the border fucking handless stories and other things that are coming up that are fucking incredible, is supposedly a large severed hand with thick black hair and rings. The legend varies. In one, it's the hand of a man killed in the Inquisition. In another, it's the hand of a particularly greedy man that crawls about like a spider in search of victims. In either case, the hand is supposedly out for revenge. Another example of a hand entity comes from Japan. And I'm going to really fuck this up, but the Mankute no Yuri, which translates roughly to the inviting ghost hand, is a weak spirit that appears only as a beckoning hand. The most common reason the spirit appears is that the deceased has not been properly interred and wants to be put to rest. There is, of course, and I had not heard about this before I was researching it this week, and I'm very excited, the classic Hand of Glory, which we will be delving into in a minute.
Okay.
From the old witch hunt days. I recall reading that this early belief later spiraled into more wild tales, not terrors, of witches using animate hands as familiars, which, by the way, that's a nice needle scratch moment.
That's
I don't recall hearing that.
Kind
That
of cool.
would have only made my childhood 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, cats are
Yeah.
cool and all, but man, a hand?
Yeah, cats, crows, ravens, whatever. They're all
Yeah.
dope.
Well, because usually an animal, not a body part.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, it's icky, but awesome. It's worth noting, though, that in all of these examples, the hand is driven by a particular desire. They all seem to want something. It would be pure conjecture to apply that rationale to what you've experienced at this point, but a little historical context never hurts. Here, I add. A lot of people theorize that spirits often linger to fulfill some need or desire, so in terms of a spitball theory, it could fit. End quote. It makes sense, but in the end, I'm forced to wonder what kind of desperate longing is powerful enough to animate a dead hand and compel it to live long after its host is dead and buried. A thirst for vengeance seems to be pretty commonplace, but then what do we make of all the small children who claim to have endured these horrors firsthand? Pun intended. What could they have possibly done to incur the unholy wrath of these five-fingered demons?
The Night of the Living Hands. Oh,
I
there
know.
it is. Yeah, it is kind of odd that the story does. It revolves around children, really, like younger people
So many.
doing this. Yeah.
No, it does.
I mean, so
but-
maybe that speaks to perception. How
Sure.
we always talk about kids being little radars for fucking paranormal things.
Well, a lot of people do.
I mean,
We
possibly
often
could be.
actually dismiss that. Well, dismiss is strong.
Right.
I don't
but-
dismiss that at all.
So-
I don't have the feeling, though, that all kids have access to the paranormal. All kids can see fae.
no,
all
I-
kids know that there's
Not
a monster
all
in their
kids.
closet. But some people definitely go on that limb, like the innocence of childhood is so complete. That's not the case. But there are definitely some kids, and maybe preconceived notions, not being maybe set in stone, allow them to appreciate these things without being terrified.
Right. They're just more open to the experiences.
And
than
I do
maybe
think that's
everybody else
definitely a
are.
factor. So you're right. Small kids maybe slightly more perceptive and or slightly less closed off.
Though it is interesting that it has to do with severed hands, because I mean, I've obviously, like, you know, like we talked about, like TV, pop culture, horror shit, but never really heard actual stories or firsthand accounts of people dealing with a disembodied hand.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting. And then we got all kinds of shapes and sizes. We got yucky hand, we got white gloved hand, we got floaty hand.
Oh yeah,
Like all kinds of, so there's not the only commonality here is that it's a hand.
it's a hand and
But-
it's not attached to
But
anything
they're all
else.
doing different shit and having different properties and stuff. So maybe this is some sort of like paranormal,
We are definitely talking about
some kind of manifestation.
more than
of-
one thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely more than one thing. But I'm just like saying like a paranormal, a phantasmagorical manifestation.
Some of them most certainly are. Like the hand that
Not a
was doing
cryptid.
the 3 knocks on the window
Yeah.
and like, "Bahoo!"
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, but not a cryptid. I'm going to say not a cryptid.
Okay. In those cases, no. Scumbag hand hopping on your bed, your dog runs away in terror, you hide until your dad shows up and it has made its escape.
Right.
Possible cryptid.
You think so?
No, I mean,
I wasn't sure where you were going with it. I
it's
was like,
loose.
all right,
I
cool.
mean, they're not fucking cryptids. Even
No,
I know that. Cryptids
no.
are fucking unknown animals and or technically speaking monsters.
But this is an interesting.
But some are like zombies and some are like fucking ghosts and some
Yeah,
are
that's
something
the
the fuck
problem.
else.
Yeah.
Right. It is a really
So
interesting
it's
cross section.
hard to define them.
Just weird
Yes.
experiences with severed hands. It's just so I don't know. I think that we're all obviously aiming towards paranormal here. I'm just gonna go on a limb.
I mean, no shit, Sherlock.
I'm just Chris is a wild card.
One
We
of
don't
the,
know.
what
No.
I watched this movie with Chris years ago.
No.
It was one of those made for sci-fi type movies, but one of the better ones, and it was called Splinter. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a really
They're like in the gas station.
solid movie. Yeah, it's a gas station. It's one
Yeah.
of the guys from I think American Pie or one of those teen movies at the time. Dark curly hair, a girl, and a guy who's robbing the place. And some infectious agent or something
Yeah.
happens, and the dude's arm falls off, but all these like splintery things are coming out. So none of that's a very biological, terrifying condition to have.
Right.
And it was making this hand ambulatory. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
walking around, it was dangerous. And if you touch these spikes, I think you got infected. I don't remember enough about it. I just remember enjoying
No,
it.
yeah,
You know,
me too.
We watched it forever ago,
Yeah.
decades ago. That would be the only like semi-biological explanation. If there were some sort of infectious agent like a bacterium or a virus that somehow sort of like zombified wasps made body parts flop around, I don't know, to spread more germs, whatever it would do. Dumb as it is.
Sure.
There's nothing like that we know about. So that having been said and firmly established, there's nothing about this that can be anything but paranormal in the
Yeah.
classic sense of supernatural magic.
And you get the whole gamut
Yeah.
of different hands, man. You got the white gloved hand, you got the boil-ridden yuck hand, you
Yep.
got the fucking floaty hand, you got the wood hand.
Wood hand.
Ish.
Can't deny the
weird.
wood hand.
Maybe.
Yeah, so super weird, man. This is kind of an interesting phenomenon, though, that I'm hoping maybe, you know, down the road there can be some more experiences that people are having. I feel like you got like feet, you know, like the random foot.
I mean, I'm not going to say there isn't. I don't know about it. Like,
yeah, I don't know about it.
there's heads, and sometimes heads with full organs,
So-
which I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are fucking hands.
So
I'm
Yeah.
sure there's like the random like calf of fucking Calcutta, but I don't know about
I wonder
it.
if this is like a partial.
know.
I wonder what this could be, though. Is this like a partial manifestation, like of a ghost, like coming through?
Some of them seem to be.
Some of them seem to be, yeah.
Others seem to be. And like I say, we didn't even get into the Mexican and like South American versions, which we only hinted at the end of
dude,
this.
big hairy hand with beautiful hair.
There are no.
It's a hand.
No,
Fabio
it's
hand.
like gnarly.
It's Fabio
It's
hand.
Constantly
gnarly
blowing.
like shit, like Brillo
It's
pad.
a goose.
Yeah, it's not beautiful Fabio hand. These things seem to be like animated by the devil from the hands of criminals to torment the young who may or may not be behaving.
Yeah.
Oh,
And drag them out of
fun.
bed or chase them home.
Yeah.
Or to back to church when they ought to have
okay.
been.
Yeah, like the
altar
Harry Hands
boying.
of Dartmoor, dude.
More along those lines, maybe.
Yeah.
But these are
Okay.
corporeal hands
No, yeah.
animated by the diabolical.
Okay, but these...
That's not what this. That's why I kept them separate, because
okay, no, I
that
like
would.
it.
This is already
Yeah.
a fucking.
No,
like,
those
a
are
huge
just pumpkin
canvas.
head hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Krampus hands.
That would have been too much.
You know what I mean? Just like,
Krampus
it's the
hands.
lesson of evil. Don't do this. Or the
Yeah.
hand of...
The lesson of
Oh,
evil.
100%. Yeah.
I can't even think of a name. Just like the hand
And the
of...
worst part is, these motherfucking hands tickle you
Yeah.
until you like piss yourself, until you're like in
Oh,
agony.
that's a thing?
I mean,
Well,
have you
okay,
ever
it could
been
be
tickled
worse.
till it hurt?
Yeah.
A lot of things can be worse, but that's still pretty fucking shitty.
Yeah,
still
no, it hurts your
sucks.
shit, but-
Yeah.
Like they're like CPS
Well,
hands. Like,
All right, well,
get some help.
thankfully, our stories did not involve CPS hands.
No,
Yeah, even though there was yuck hands or whatever. but that's
that
fine.
next one will.
So yeah, man, that's a super weird haunting phenomenon of just the disembodied hands.
Just real quick, I feel like
Super
I got to
weird.
tell you, hands of glory. Never knew about it. You got to take the hand of a hanged person, which apparently were a dime a dozen
Okay.
throughout most of human history, because people were publicly executed all the time, and then do some fucking magical shit and attach a candle. There's spells online. We could do it if we had a hand. I don't think we're going to try to do it, but apparently, it does two things for you. The hand of glory
Okay.
All right.
opens up any locked door, so
Okay.
it's the criminal's handy friend.
Cool. Nice.
Also will become alive and distract any constable or anyone who's trying to interrupt your thievery.
Uh-huh.
So when you're in the middle of burglarizing someplace, evidently the thing will start running around if like the family wakes up and like start distracting them, like, whoa,
Like
hey,
just a hand?
I'm fucking hand, and terrifying.
Maybe that's what these people have been experiencing the entire time. Is all these experiences are a hand of glory?
Someone trying to break in.
Yeah. Send the hand of
I don't-
glory in.
It doesn't sound like that, though. This
Yeah.
just sounds like a D&D item. Like, specifically for thieves.
It actually does.
I mean,
like,
Yeah, that's
you
a
want to
good-
thieve and
like a-
shit?
Dude, it's amazing.
Throw the hand of
Like,
glory.
The image is it's
Hand
like
of
a
glory.
hand like this with like candles between these two. Like a little
I've
birthday
seen
candle.
that before. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think I had that. I had that on a T-shirt. For
Really?
a band.
I've
I'm almost
never
positive.
heard of the hand of
Didn't
glory
realize
until
it's called the
today.
hand of glory, but
And I'm
fuck.
like, oh my God. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you know what? Son of a bitch.
So hands.
Night of the living hands.
Hands,
dog.
indeed.
We
They scared me as
We
a
did
kid.
it.
I don't even think about the 1981 movie The Hand with Michael King. Kind of sucks. And also,
No, it
I
does
know I
suck,
don't want to
but-
give it up, but it sucks.
It does.
I don't want to say like it's booty in the end. It's booty in the end.
okay.
It is.
Fair.
Like
and balanced.
crawling hand, the astronaut, weird crawling hand. Like some of them are still pretty effective. Beast with 5 fingers, all that shit is okay if you like 1940s movies, which I can sometimes give or take depending on how well they are made. But it was a thing that scared me that very recently I was delighted to know was ostensibly a real.
There's a
thing.
reason to be scared.
and now we get to live in a world.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I didn't know about this. If I had known there was a hint. Like all it took was someone like the beginning of the movie Gargoyles, made for TV movie, and it said,
Oh,
"Since
yeah.
a time immemorial, human beings have been at war with the or whatever the fucking opening narration was."
Right,
I'm like,
yeah.
Well, fuck, I'm fucked. Gargoyles are real. I'm
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Like it didn't take any. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre opening, screwed. Love that
Same.
movie.
Yeah.
Screwed.
Right.
Same.
Based on real events.
If I had
Yeah.
known
yeah.
that
seriously.
fucking hands are supposed to move because they're helping witches or they're fucking helping criminals or they're getting revenge, I would have just been like, well,
that
there it
would've
is.
been
The
Yeah.
revanche.
I could barely sleep knowing that I was fully making the shit up in my head. To know there's legend behind it would have fucking
No,
ruined.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So-
well, now we're all ruined in the end. Now
We're
we all
lucky.
know that we have to be on the lookout for random phantasmagorical hands.
Especially that poor
Hanging
kid.
out.
That poor kid in Nepal,
Yeah.
just riding on mama's
Mama's bike.
One of 17 kids piled on.
Yeah. God damn it. Just
And you know what?
safety to the wind.
I hate to throw it out there. Last minute thing. Might have been a crab.
I was thinking about that.
Crabs look
as
a little like
matter of
hands.
fact. I was
No,
thinking like maybe it was
yeah.
a
Might have been
crab
a
on
little
the
pale
thing.
crab.
Some
It
weird
is
bugs or
ran.
crustaceans. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for sure. Right.
I mean, it was a hand. It was clearly a hand with red nails.
Could have been, but it could have been a hand from a murder victim, which a crab was in eating and then
Oh.
walked away.
Could you imagine? It's like eating the flesh as crabs are wont to do because
Yeah.
they're
That's-
carnivores.
Yeah, no, that's the
and then
deal.
it turns around to like go find whatever the fuck crabs look
Yeah.
for, and then the hand crawls with it.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my.
Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Still horrible in its own way.
It is super gross. man.
Yucky hands are no bueno.
We did it, boys. Patreon shout-outs, Robert. Let's thank the
Oh,
good folks that
fucking
support
A.
us monthly over there at patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
Okay, the first name just makes me happy.
Sam, I love it.
Tubby Nuts.
Hell yeah, Tubby Nuts. Thank you so
Doing it.
much.
No space, 1Z.
No.
Tubby Nuts.
All Tubby Nuts all day long.
Conspiracy Bunny 2023.
Thank you, Conspiracy
Oh,
Bunny.
I
Nice.
believe we've communicated on Discord.
I believe we have too.
David Hansen.
Thank you so much, David.
Nice.
Reviewed Tooth 18.
Hell yeah, review too. Thank you so much.
Last, certainly not least. And Mark has found a way to accrue more names, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, Rob had a panic attack last week. So
Yeah.
That's a little
It's
strong.
Talked him off the ledge.
It's okay.
I had mild concern. Let's fucking tone it down, everybody.
We'll have to give you spreadsheets of our current Patreon earnings.
Okay, like I give fucks. I'm going to give this last name, and I'm not going to be fucking shoved into a corner with your lies anymore. Admit one.
Admit one.
Admit one. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all for your support. I mean, it's invaluable. It's been fucking fantastic. It has changed all our lives, and it really makes this a feasible endeavor. And thank you all.
It does.
Also, too, if you're on the fence about checking out our Patreon, you can join the 7-day free trial. You can just jump on
Yes,
for
you
7
can.
days. And a bunch of people have been doing it. So you can get on for 7 days. You have to put your credit card in. That's how these things work.
Yeah.
If I want to watch whatever show on whatever network, I got to put my card in, and then I delete it by the end of the 7 days or whatever.
Yeah.
So do the free trial. Check it out. If you like it, stick around.
Yeah.
You know, see if you dig it. I got the $1.
It's up to you.
$1, the $5, the $10, all kinds of content coming out, videos, audios, all kinds of fun shit happening. And if you do the $10 tier, you get to watch me as I do my hand motions for this episode.
How thrilling.
Oh, very, very.
You
The
did.
Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks, the socials, all of the media is heading dick deep into 24, making it happen.
Oh, man.
We're out there. Follow us, like, comment, DM, do whatever. The merch, we got the old
Nice.
Public.
Yeah, we do.
Hellerspace.com.
Yep.
Forgot what fucking was combined the two. Hellerspace.com that we're bringing to our Public shop. We got the hats. I'm rocking one right here. Got the t-shirts. Rocking. Look at the company guy. Guy. Here
Yours
you go.
too. Come
Yeah,
on.
there you go, Chris, company guy. We have all kinds of fun merch there. As we mentioned in the beginning of this episode, Christopher is going to be having his film coming out in August, and there will be a merch
True.
drop.
True.
And then there's going to be another merch drop. We have
Also
some
true.
fun stuff for October, or for August and September and October planned for merch.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
be sure to check all that out there. And thank you all so very much for tuning in weekly, supporting us. We appreciate it. If you want to leave us some reviews and 5 stars or whatever on the platforms you listen to this on, feel free. And also to Patreon, or I'm sorry, not Patreon, Spotify. Recently, the Q&A section got changed to comments. So you can just leave. It's no longer a question and answer. It's just a comment
Leave
section.
some shit. Okay.
It's slowly rolling out. I was talking to Travis, our Spotify guy, because it's not available in New York yet, but it will be probably next week. Or so.
Okay.
It's a regional thing. It's rolling out.
So
regionally.
they're like people can just talk about the thing they like or don't like.
Before the Spotify, it was a Q&A, like, what'd you think of this episode? And people could leave us what they thought about the episode. But now it's just comments, so you can just leave comments. It's
All right.
fine. They just
Dope.
changed the thing on there. So that's there. That's happening. Be sure to follow us again on the social medias, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Peace out. Look out for the hand.
Look
Yep.
out for the hand.
Fear the
hairy
hand.
hands.
Loathe the elbow.
Keep good records.
Yeah, keep
Footage
good
would be great.
records. What's that?
Footage would be great.
Footage would be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do have a pair
100%.
of disembodied pants that we can do a video of eventually.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, our buddy Cole Harrell sent that to us.
Right on.
And I've watched it a couple of times, and it's goddamn adorable.
Oh, my.
There's a little tiny pair of pants.
You love pants.
I love little
You
tiny
really
pair of
do.
pants running around, dude.
I do
It's like,
too.
oh, they're so cute. It's fucking
No, I love
adorable,
it.
man. Oh, it's so cool.
Fresno
I can't
Nightcrawlers. I love the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Oh, they're the
They're
coolest.
the best. They're the
It's
best.
awesome.
But the way they walk is a little disconcerting. That's the best part.
I know, but
They're,
I love
but it's
they're
in a
adorable yet
lovable way,
horrifying.
though. Yeah.
Like, it would be... It's the footage that I would be exactly at that distance. Like, I wouldn't run away,
yeah.
but I wouldn't run towards
Nope.
them.
No,
No,
I know.
absolutely
But
not.
I would enjoy every little bit of them walking past.
I know.
Agreed.
Well, there it is. And we're talking to you soon.
Hey, Fresno Nightcrawler.
Bye.
Hands.
Hate to see you go. Love to watch you walk away.
Wow, creepy Uncle Bob.
Only for Fresno Nightcrawlers. I'm not being a scumbag.
They have cool legs.
They really do.
Yeah.
They
Honestly,
do.
all like fucking Matthew McConaughey perv aside, they're fucking really weird and cool.
Jesus Christ.
No, they're the best.
They are.
Yeah.
We all agree.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Buy that t-shirt, hellerspace.com.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we did
that was
one.
weird. Super
I
weird.
actually
Ah,
have it, and
what
I'm going to
the
wear it
fuck?
Wednesday for
All right,
videos.
perfect. All right, cool.
All right, bye. All right.
Bye.